You better be on your best behavior because this foxy officer won't hesitate to lock you up. Tamamo no Mae Police Fox version seems like a pretty obscure pick from Fate Extella Link, a lesser played game in the Fate franchise. Despite Tamamo having a fairly wide range of figures already, this one brings a unique twist on not only Tamamo herself, but Bishoujo figures in general. That unique twist being a police outfit that isn't sexualized to hell and back. It's coupled with a dynamic pose that makes great use of Tamamo's tail and a fittingly unique base to really set it apart from other figures. PHAT Company has a perfect formula for a home run here, so let's dive deeper into the details. Let's start with her head. Her translucent pink hair is striking and ethereal. The effect seems to taper off into being more transparent at the tips. It doesn't feel out of place at all and allows for lighting to bring out more depth than you would find with a regular flat paint job. I have noticed a few marks on her hair, which I'm not sure is from glue, paint, or some other defect in the manufacturing process. The good news is that they are small and fairly easy to overlook. I think her face turned out fantastic. Her mouth maybe looks a bit weird if you stare at it front on for too long, but I think that's just a side effect of translating 2D anime mouths into 3D and the shadows and depth that come with it. Before moving on, I just want to take a moment to appreciate the detail of her left hand weaving between strands of her hair and resting against her face. It's cool and looks hard to manufacture, but what do I know? Moving down to her clothes, there is a lot of great detail from the sculpted wrinkles and folds in her shirt and skirt, as well as some subtle shading to accentuate them. The tiny detail on the gold patches both on her shoulder and above the pockets on her chest are incredibly clean for how small they are. I have her displayed holding the handcuffs here, but they are a completely separate accessory to her hand. The fingers have some very small indents for it to sit on, but you realistically could go without them if you choose to do so. To top it off, her flowing tie holistically ties her dynamic pose together. Of course, I have to talk about her legs. Even though there's so much going on the left side of the figure, they still almost steal the show. At a baseline, they meet my criteria of not looking broken, which is almost always a deal breaker for me. Aside from that, they don't do anything blatantly wrong, aside from maybe looking a little plain, but her pose is more than enough to compensate. The final part of Tamamo herself is of course her tail. The shading on the brown is nice, with its slow build up to the darker brown at the tip. In contrast, the white part doesn't really have anything going on, either here or back up on her ears. The lack of additional shading here doesn't really bother me too much though, and I think there's probably a reason why they didn't go in that direction. And finally, something I both love and hate is the base. I think the design is cool, and despite looking pretty ugly from the back, it's really stable thanks to a fairly deep plug in Tamamo's tail. It's pretty genius and it works so well that maybe I would call it perfect. If it wasn't purple. Don't get me wrong, it looks fine, but it could be so much better. The whole time filming the review, I couldn't stop imagining how good it would look if it was black with gold accents, just like the badge on her shoulder. The purple doesn't fit thematically. Nobody is out there with a purple police badge, and Tamamo doesn't even have one herself. Even adding another color would go a long way into making the base less of an enigma, but it is what it is. Overall, this Police Fox is a fantastic figure and I'm really happy with the final product. PHAT Company has done a great job with matching the quality of the prototype with no surprise downgrades, despite a delay of a few months. Everything from the pose to the colors allows Tamamo to stand, or I guess float, whatever she's doing, above her competition. If you're a man of culture and she piques your interest too, I wholeheartedly recommend her. Don't worry about not knowing the source material, I don't think anyone else does anyway. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more anime figure reviews. This has been the Ando Experience, and I'll catch ya in the next one. Bye!